Hello folks, it's Anahita Rao, and today I wanted to discuss a very important topic actually, and it often gets overlooked because we get so caught up in what's in the birth chart and why it's there, and rather than thinking about what to do about it. So of course the essence of Jyotish is to identify the karmic points in your birth chart and perhaps your purpose and your spiritual path. But also one of the essential tools that Jyotish gives us is how to remedy this karma so that it is manageable and so that your goals are achievable. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to speak about each planet and the remedial measures for them individually. But first I want to cover some very general points about remedies and what they mean. So this info is going to be repeated in the earlier few minutes of each video. Okay, so let's get started with that, yeah? Okay, so the first thing to keep in mind with remedies is that you need discipline, which means you need to be regular. You need to have a sustainable spiritual practice so that you can be regular. This could include a pranayama practice for a few minutes daily. It could include daily concentrated meditation technique that you have. It can include mantra japa. It could include yoga daily or a few times a week. Fasting is another great practice. The energy that the body puts into digestion is then reverted to healing. So if your body is healing, you can be sure that your thoughts are as well. Mantras are very effective, but this depends on your chart. If, for example, you have a poor fifth house or fifth lord, then it may or may not work for you. But nonetheless, regardless of that, you can always benefit from doing mantra chanting for your ascendant lord, nonetheless. Seva, I find, is the best remedy for any issue. It could be volunteer work, it could be giving donation, but if you're only giving donation and not doing something else, you may not see much difference. Because unless you're involved in a regular practice, then the shift inside of you doesn't take place. Yeah, so it's very important to have something in conjunction with seva, with donation especially. You may feel good for a few minutes when you make that donation, but that's about it. I don't feel that the internal shift will take place. Certainly not to a degree that it will be a stabilizing shift or a staying shift. So it might be something that you notice that changes, but it will be very transient and temporary. So if you're just doing donation, then you might want to supplement it with other practices. I've actually devoted a page on my website with ideas for donation connected to each and every planet. So have a look at that. It's basically anahitarao.com. These are merely ideas. I don't have any affiliation with these organizations that are mentioned there, but so just for you to get an idea of what the possibilities are out there. I'm not really a big advocate of gemstones unless they come from a very reliable source. And even then, you have to know how to energize them properly before wearing them and before expecting any sort of impact. If you are into gemstones, then I can recommend a good book which speaks about the healing powers of gemstones, and that's by Harish Johari. Now, there's two schools of thoughts when it comes to gemstones. One is use the natural malefic stones if they rule good houses, and the other is only use the natural benefics ruling good houses. My suggestion would initially be to play it safe and go with the second school of thought. So, for instance, if you're a Leo lagna, don't use the red coral, even though Mars is your yoga karaka planet, because it's a natural malefic. Instead, use the yellow sapphire because Jupiter is benefic and it rules your fifth house. So when you wear a stone in your right hand, this is ruled by Jupiter, so it will increase the stone's good energy. The left hand is ruled by Venus, and it decreases energy. So if you're wearing for Saturn during Saturn's dasha, for example, then you might want to do it on the left hand to decrease Saturn's impact, perhaps. As I said, however, gemstone is not the remedy that I would recommend, because for a remedy to be really effective, you must participate in the action, because in this way you will be burning off the old karma. Right? Because karma in itself is action, so you need action to burn that off. So the karma that is standing in the way basically creates an obstacle for anything that we desire in life. It gets into the mind, body, and soul. And if you're involved actively in something to remedy that, then you are feeling the effects on all of those levels. To combat it. If you wear a gemstone, then again, do so in conjunction with another remedy, such as kriya, such as fasting, such as mantra japa on a daily basis. And of course, seva is fantastic, and so is donation. Yeah. So let's get started with the planet. All right, folks, so let's talk about Mars now. How can we improve our Mars? So what is Mars? Mars represents passion, vitality, energy, strength, courage, initiative, and sexual urges. It's considered the commander-in-chief of the planets, and a well-placed Mars helps the Sun achieve its goals. Now, Jupiter can control the Martian energy and balance the hot with the cold. Sign of a weak Mars is a person who may fight dirty, is passive aggressive in their behavior. So they don't like to fight fair, as they tend to be full of fear. Afflicted Mars is someone who may be aggressive, lose their temper quickly, vindictive, or tend to hang on to hate feelings for long periods of time. Of course, a common affliction is Mars in the 1st, 2nd, 4th, 7th, 8th, or 12th houses. This is popularly known as Manglik dosh. So if you have this dosh, it can harm relationships, because the aggression and anger tends to be misplaced, essentially. Though it gets balanced out if you're dealing with people that also have this placement, which is about 40% of the population. And after Mars matures, which is between the ages of 28 and 30, this becomes a lot easier to handle. Another thing to note is that you will see the effects of this when you're going through the Mars dasha or the Antardasha. But outside of that, it's normally quite manageable. Yeah? So unless that Mars is getting activated, that afflicted Mars, you're not going to see too bad of results there. Challenging rashis for Mars are Gemini, Cancer, Virgo. A benefic Mars, a well-placed Mars, which of course could be Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Capricorn, offers a lot of self-confidence, sharp wit, faculty of argumentation, very sound logic, and an adventurous spirit. So it's quite handy to have a good Mars. The person would also possess strong determination, strong principles, and qualities of leadership. Mars gets exalted in Capricorn. So to strengthen Mars, you need to cultivate qualities of Capricorn, which is the natural 10th house. So how do we do this? We can put our energies into building a career, a foundation, learn to write down our goals, make commitments and stick to them, calculate and strategize before acting. Do not give up, persevere. Capricorn is known for that. Cross over challenges and struggles. Keep up the fighting spirit. Be prepared for hard work. Cultivate discipline and focus your energies. Perhaps do some sporting activity in order to do that. Mars is a Karaka for siblings, so reconnect with your siblings, especially younger brothers, is what Mars signifies. Mars is also the Karaka for the 6th house, so again, the best remedy would be Seva, because 6th house is the house of service. Chanting a Mars mantra on Tuesdays can remedy Mars afflictions. Any sort of Hanuman puja as well. You can make donations to burn or fire victims, helping those going through any kind of abuse. That is a fantastic remedy for Mars. It can be through donation, or it can be through advice, or for any kind of help, especially domestic abuse. This is actually a good remedy for afflicted Moon and Venus as well. So what are the results? Improved courage, improved calm, improved logic, and improved luck with property as well, because Mars is a Karaka for property. Yeah, hope you found that helpful, folks.